see behind the curtain every day. I get to see the passion. I get to see how much they care. So when our mayor comes out, please treat her with respect because she is with you. Can you hear me? So she'll be coming out in a second. And I know the passion that our police chief has, supporting all of you out in the community. She works tirelessly to make sure people are treated fairly. And oftentimes that means making very hard decisions. And a lot of times people don't get to hear and see what goes into those decisions. Today is about building trust. Today is a step to building trust and to building new relationships. So they'll be coming out and they'll be addressing you in a second. Thank you.
Can I ask if there is a sign language interpreter in the audience that would like to come up and sign direct? We have one? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Now listen, folks, listen. We have news cameras, you know, we have the media here, but I'm going to ask you as the people of Seattle, as the citizens, to record, take out your phones, get this on the live stream. We want to make sure that this message is seen across the world, across the nation, loud and clear, and that it's not diluted, and that the words that she says today that we hear are the words that the world hears all over. Make sure that you are recording. Make sure that you get this filmed. Make sure that it is heard across the nation. That is imperative to continue to incite the change that we are trying to accomplish here today. You guys have been fantastic. You guys have been so good, so peaceful, so loving, so supportive, and we see and hear each and every one of you, and we just want to continue to make sure that we are expressing our thanks and your continued support. You guys are wonderful. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. So we're gonna open this up a little bit, okay? And we're gonna bring the mic back just a little bit so we can get Mayor Durkan and Chief Best out here, okay? And this gentleman here is the sign language interpreter. This lady right here, folks, she is helping interpret. She is helping so that he can sign for the rest of the crowd, okay? So we've got 2 interpreters going here. That is why she's standing, and she's going to continue to stand. She's not going to kneel. So please do not ask her to kneel. She is doing her job. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further waiting, without any further stalling, here is Mayor Durkan and Chief Best.
So, I want to say first, let's all take a moment to remember Mr. Floyd. But what happened to him has happened for generations. Too many black men have died. Breonna Taylor, say her name. Breonna Taylor! Generations of black Americans and other people of color have too long been denied true justice. We in our country were founded upon a premise that blacks were not equal. Systemic racism was built into our Constitution. We've got to change that. Your voices holding me accountable are important, and you should continue to raise them. We want you to march. We want you to raise your voices. We want you to continue on the path of justice. But we need you, please, to do it peacefully. And we know you can. We saw it yesterday. It was a beautiful, beautiful march for hours. I know.
Let her speak. Thank you.
We know the end was not how it was meant to be, and the chief and I have talked about it. We're going to look at it. We've talked to people to not just investigate those actions, but working with you and the communities and continuing to center your voices and your experience to come up with real change, real accountability, not just for today and not just because of today, but durable change for the generations. No, it ain't a re-election speech. Look, many in this crowd have fought for years and years. Others are new to the fight, and we will do all we can, and Chief Best will talk to you. We respect and will protect your right to protest freely.
Thank you.
And we will work with you. I want to thank some of the leadership that you have allowed for us to meet with and talk to, but we know that doesn't replace your own voices, your own experiences, and those of your families and generations. But we will continue to listen. And we know that you will continue to push us. And that's your job. That's your job. I tell you, I know I look old, but I have marched these streets of Seattle on many causes. Against the Vietnam War, for civil rights, for gay rights. It broke my heart to see Capitol Hill and the Rainbow Crosswalk engulfed last night. We've got to be a better city, a better country. We've got to show that we actually can make it work here. And I believe we can. I will tell you, we'll make mistakes. I make mistakes. We won't get it perfect every time. But we will keep trying. Now I'm going to let Chief Best talk to you.
Hey, folks, real quick, before the chief said, hey, silence.
Stop right now. Listen up. I'm going to say something to this group right now, and I'm going to ask every single one of you to listen. We are changing things. This is a beginning. This is a start to a start, and it needs to stay that way. But the only way it can stay that way is if you allow the people that we have elected, the people that we have placed in power, to address the public, and that is us here. And that means staying quiet while they address you. That means not yelling over them. That means actually listening to what they have to say, and then after you listen, after you truly listen, not just wait for them to be done talking so that you can say whatever it is on your heart and your mind that you want to say, then you can address her with your questions, then address her with your concerns, then you can bring your concerns to your elected officials and to the chief. That is what we are here for today, and that is going to happen, but we cannot allow that to happen if you guys are going to incite anger and start screaming obscenities and profanities up here. This is peaceful, and it's going to remain that way. I am not joking.
Come on.
This is important, okay? And if we want to continue to facilitate this change, if we want to continue to be able to move forward and have them working with us instead of working against us, it is imperative that we remain peaceful and listen. It is imperative that we allow them this platform to tell us what we want to hear. We can't hear them if we're yelling. They can't tell us what they are planning to do. They cannot tell us what the change is that's going to happen if we are yelling over them. So I'm asking you again to please sit silently, listen to what they have to say. Your time for speaking is coming. It's coming. They are listening. And they are listening because we have marched peacefully for the last 4 days. And we are going to continue to do so. Okay? So I'm going to hand the mic over to Chief Best, and I'm not kidding. I expect silence. I expect you guys to hear what she has to say. She is a POC, and you are going to treat her as the queen that she is.
Let's remember one thing to reiterate on what she's saying. These two beautiful women did not have to step out those doors.
So fast.
So fast as they did. So right now, they are giving us what we asked for, which is to build a bridge of communication. We won't tear that down by disrespecting them.
let's not lose focus about why we are here.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you, Shyla, and thank you, brother, for your words of support. I am here to tell you I stand with you. I really stand with you. I understand the hurt and the anger that everyone feels, especially after the death of George Floyd. It just represented one more issue, one more thing that we have to deal with as a community. But you know, as a black woman, you know, I feel the same pain you feel. And just because I wear the uniform, that doesn't change that. And there's a whole lot of people who support you. Myself and many of the officers that are here today, I know you're angry about some things that happened last night. We'll review it, we'll look at it, we're listening, but they support you too. Nobody wants to see another black man dead at the hands of police or anybody else. So we're listening. We are listening to everything. I appreciate the fact that people have come together, that they're feeling a level of rage and a level of anger, but let that anger drive you toward a positive change, to systemic changes that we need, not only in criminal justice, but in criminal justice, in healthcare, in education, and everywhere else, right? Right, so this is our opportunity. Take advantage of your opportunity, but I'm going to ask you, I'm going to beg you to do so peacefully so that your message can be heard and it's not co-opted by people who want to do wrong in this city. That's what we're asking. So thank you so much, Shyla, for giving me this chance to talk to people. I appreciate it.
Once again, we want to thank Mayor Durkan and Chief Best for coming out and speaking with us today. Now is the time for a couple questions. Now is the time that we as a public get to address the concerns that we have had over the last couple years, over the last couple decades. You know, this is a fight we've been fighting for a long time, and we want to see real change, and we want to see it immediately. So right now is the time for some peaceful questions, some concerns that we want to raise. I do know that David had an immediate question that he actually wanted to ask Mayor Durkan and Chief Best. So I'm going to hand the mic over to him, and we're going to go from there, okay?
Hey everybody, thank you so much. One, thank you so much, Mayor Durkan, for especially coming out as quickly as you did. We do want to acknowledge that. That said, I do want to also acknowledge that it did take us 4 days of peaceful protest for this to happen, and I want to acknowledge the wonderful peace that has been demonstrated by everyone already here. It is not just the message that we will become peaceful. It's not just the message that we will become peaceful, but that we have been peaceful and will continue to do so. My question for you, Mayor Durkan, is when we started this, we demanded a proposal for significant and immediate police change, police reform. Now, we are logical, reasonable people. We understand that you cannot have a proposal right now, but I would like to know what steps you will take immediately to allow that proposal to move forward.
Thank you very much. And I want to echo the thanks for letting me and the privilege and honor to come here. I want to say, the first thing I want to say is the chief and I and others will work on a plan, but the plan has to come from community voice and be centered on community voice and experience. And so the first step is, if you'll do me the honor that we can set up a process, we're working with a community police commission, which represents community, but with people right here that you select to help start talking about what are the specific and concrete things we need to change and how do we make it change. And that is going to take a process of honesty and healing. It will bring out anger and disillusionment. There will be disagreement and agreement. There will be those who it brings forth all the grief that they have, and it will only be successful if we can find some mutual love and common humanity. So I know that that has to be earned. That kind of trust isn't here today, or you wouldn't be in the streets marching. And so the first specific thing I will say is talking to some of your leadership to find people who will bring forth specific ideas and set a timetable under which ones we can do just by acting, which other ones we have to do by creating new laws and changes.
I love that, but what I was expecting is a little bit more of a timeline. When can we have that first step?
What are you doing tomorrow?
Talking with you.
I said, what are you doing tomorrow? We'll start right here.
Every day, 3 p.m.
So look, I think you can't have all the conversations in a group of 7,000 people. I think you have to have some of the conversations in a group of 7,000 people. But if you want to come up with a real plan, you got to empower some people to have a voice for you. And you got to be able to sit down with them so I can sit down with them and we can figure out going forward. There's a lot of people who've been working on these issues for a lot of years who aren't here right now, and their voices deserve to be heard too. So I will sit tomorrow with you at 3 o'clock, and we will start planning what that looks like.
With that being said, I invite you to meet us here tomorrow night afterwards so that we can voice to you some of the things that we go over after that meeting, so that you guys are informed on a daily, regular basis, because that is your right. It's your right to know. So now, mind you, that is going to be peaceful, just as it has been for the last 4 days. We cannot continue forward if we don't continue forward in peace. That is vital, okay? It's vital.
And to facilitate that, I do have an email that was made specifically for this protest. It's called Seattle's United, SeattleSUnited@gmail.com. You can email us there. We'll be able to have all the questions, and also we'll be able to create a listserv of what that plan can be, all right?
And we'll bring that. We'll bring that to Mayor Durkan tomorrow. So email us that list.
Seattle's,
What you expect.
Seattle's United, SeattleSUnited@gmail.com. Plural, Seattle, plural. United.
So many Seattles.
For those of you that are still confused, I will literally spell it out for you. SeattleUnited@gmail.com.
And beyond that, we will try to make this as transparent as a process as possible. Thankfully, we live in a generation in which there are many means for all of us to communicate actively, including Zoom calls, email, lots of things. We'll be establishing this tomorrow. Thank you, Mayor Durkan.
Can I say one more thing? I know this sounds like I'm going to be sounding like a mom, but we are in the middle of a coronavirus pandemic, and your activities have been amazing. We want to work with public health that if anyone experiences symptoms, that we have a way to get you tested and get you health care, because that's real too. So I urge you, this is, there's times there can't be gatherings, but this is a time there has to be gatherings because your voices have to be heard. So thank you, I appreciate it. We'll meet with them tomorrow, and we'll be back to talk.
We're going to have one more question for now, but again, please continue. Oh. Fair. That's actually a question. That's a question to us.
So let me tell you two things that have been raised in this last week. There was a lot of unhappiness about the fact that badges had a black stripe on them. And the reason that officers did that was to recognize fallen officers. But wait. All right, wait. I heard your boos, and I heard them before now, because sometimes the symbolism of something means more than what's behind it, so we are going to make a change.
Listen to what she just said. Listen, actually, I see that mayor.
That's all right.
Listen,
That's
hey,
all right.
listen to what she just said. Listen to what she just
So,
said.
listen for a minute, if you could. What I said was, because of your voice, we're going to make a change. We're going to make sure that the badge number, we're going to find a way, it won't be able to start tonight, but we're going to find a way that a badge number can be shown every time.
Everybody, hey, excuse me. What are they even shouting? Everybody, we have this opportunity. We have this wonderful opportunity. Please. Everybody, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Thank you so much. Y'all treated me so beautifully and gave me much respect. And I'm asking the same for you. We weren't here yesterday, were we? She wasn't out here. She wasn't out here. She wasn't out here yesterday. She's out here today. It has to be a starting point. Understand what's going to happen. But her check doesn't force her to be out here. Now understand what's going to happen. If this gets out of control and we don't give her an opportunity to speak, then you won't see them out here again. Let's not tear that down. We've gotten too far with that. We have came too far with that. So just give her a second, please. And listen, she gave you the website where you can email all of these questions. So if an answer is not valid for you today, please submit that so they can present that to them tomorrow. She gave you a guarantee. She said she would be out here tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and whatever they discuss will come right back out to you. So all I'm asking you to do is not tear it down before it can get started.
All right, hey, listen up, folks. Listen up. Shh. Listen, I can't. Listen, I've been yelling for 4 days, and I cannot yell any longer. So if you want to hear me, I need you to be quiet. Okay, listen up. David and I are going to be reading all of those emails and presenting them to Mayor Durkan tomorrow. So if you're not happy with her response, if you're not happy with her answers, I beg you, I plead you to email us so that we can present to her your guys' voices and your guys' concerns. Listen, this, like I said earlier, this is the start to a start, okay? She has acknowledged that it is not okay for the badge numbers to be covered. And I agree, it's wrong. It's not okay. We can't allow that to continue, okay? So listen. If you guys will allow and permit and continue to stay quiet and peaceful so that our elected officials and the chief and Chief Best can explain to you why it started, okay? Because I've heard multiple times, why did it start? Why did it begin? Right? And I want to give you guys the chance to hear that. But you can't hear that if you guys are yelling over her, okay? So they're going to explain to you why it's happening. They're going to tell you why it was happening, and they're going to let you know that it is going to be changed. Because she just said, we're changing that. It's going to start happening. But listen, wait, please. Change takes time. Change takes meetings. Change takes demands, and change takes the voice of the people. We can't bring it to you guys if you guys don't bring it to us.
Here's the thing. Everybody, the other day I said something that was not exactly correct. He said, You weren't here with us yesterday. Exactly. Not only were so many of you here yesterday, but for 4 days. Not only were so many of you for 5 days, but yesterday got maced in the face to make this happen. I do not think that we will have solutions today. Tomorrow we will start negotiations. That said, what I do encourage everyone, every day, 3 o'clock, we will peacefully protest until we actually have genuine change. Every day. This doesn't stop here. That said, the message we have always had since day one, united and peaceful. We will maintain that unity and that peace throughout these negotiations. We'll have all of your emails coming through that email. Again, it's seattlesunited.com or gmail.com. And I'm also okay with saying that we will start facilitating, if we can, Zoom calls so that people can actually start having their voices heard and seen. All right? And can we promise no gas tonight? That is fair.
Nobody wants there to be gas. What?
Listen up!
Let her speak. Let her answer. Let her speak, please.
Look,
Let her speak.
the chief and I have talked about it. I think the officers believe that what you did yesterday for hours, the peaceful march, was beautiful. And no one is happy with how it ended. And we have got to talk about each part of that to make a difference. We will continue. I understand the police who are managing it met with some of your leaders to make sure it doesn't happen again. But I'm not going to stand up and make a promise that I can't keep. And I'm going to make sure.
Everybody, that is one thing. Thank you so much, Mayor Durkan, for being here. But what I will ask, will you continue to allow us to peacefully protest?
Yes, you have the right to peacefully protest, and I am imploring you as the chief did. Please keep it peaceful. Ensure everyone in your ranks keeps it peaceful.
Everybody, we have to thank Mayor Durkan for coming. We will keep peace. We will keep peace. Hey, everybody. This is not the end. We will keep peace. We will not lose the ground that we have gained by having this peace. For 5 days, we have marched peacefully. It will not be lost today.
We're not done.
It will not be lost today. Let's hear that commitment. We marched and we won, but this is not the end.
Listen up, folks. So, listen up. Tonight is not the end. Today is not over, and this march is not done. Okay? We are going to continue our march today like we set out to do. We are going to continue our march today like we set out to do. We are going to have a march today. We are going to... Where did you say we want? We're gonna go Cap Hill, and then we're gonna meet up at Cal Anderson, folks, okay? And we're gonna end where it started, okay? That is where we're gonna finish it up today. And listen, this is us. This is very important. Because this, like I said earlier, this is the start to a start. This is how we begin facilitating change. We have to make sure that it stays peaceful, and we have to give our people a voice. We're going to march forward, we're going to march peacefully, and we are going to continue tonight. And we have a couple more speeches that we have to give. We have a couple more speakers that we would like to speak to you guys and address the public. And we're gonna get ready to move to the next place. So if you guys could clear could clear a way, we're gonna march to the front and get us to where we're going next, and we're gonna continue like we've continued all day. Thank you guys so much for lending us your voices. We love you.
And beyond that, thank you for staying peaceful.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Oh, it's yours. Okay. I was like, I don't know who this is. I'm just holding it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to let him through.